Yes, I understand that every life must end. As we sit alone, I know someday we must go on. Yeah, I'm a lucky man to count on both hands the ones I love. Some folks, they got one, yeah, others, they got none. Stay with me, or let's just breathe. Practiced on my sins, never gonna let me win. Under everything, just another human being. Yeah, I don't wanna hurt. There's so much in this world to make me believe. Stay with me, you're all I see. Did I say that I need you? Oh, did I say that I want you? Oh, if I didn't, I'm a fool, you see. No one knows this more than me. As I come clean, I wonder every day as I look upon your face. Everything you gave and nothing you would take. Nothing you would take. Everything you gave. Did I say that I need you? Oh, did I say that I want you? Oh, if I didn't, I'm a fool, you see. No one knows this more than me. As I come clean, nothing you would take, everything you gave. Oh, till I die, meet you on the other side.
that moment. Well, as you all know, we will go with the MLD fail of our Kendo's fail of the week. Make sure you clip that, post it in Jay's DMs, because he really likes to see the ways I fail. Anyway, that was quite the way to start. Howdy, everybody. Welcome to MLD Monday here. Oh, goodness. Yeah, let's hit the reset button. One second. Here we go. Forget this happened. Forget that happened. 1 second. And we're going back. Give it a second. Get that Lake of Rage going. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MLD Monday here on the Kendo Slice channel. I am happy to have you. I feel like something just happened, but, you know, we're just getting started here on MLD Monday. Good old MLD production values. You almost wouldn't know that Jay was the one I'm learning from. But anyway, we have an amazing show for you today. Just to tease the lineup a little bit, we have the one and only Crawdville, who's going to be up first. And he is one of my favorite stories within the confines of the MLD. Really, once I started MLD Monday, he was one of the first people that came to my mind. I'm like, I want to interview this guy. He has an overcomer story that I really am looking forward to share. And unfollowing for that roast. Jay, thank you for the follow. And thank you for the unfollow. I mean, that just means you can follow again later. Anyway, we also have the elder statesman of the MLD, one of the coolest guys within the confines of our lovely league, the one and only Cardinal. He and I are going to have a dad joke off, maybe. Don't quote that, though. Anyway, just to get started, though, we have my personal favorite segment that we go into every week. It is the Kendo Slice Hot Take of the Week. So, for today's hot take, just to give you a premise of what the hot take is, usually it's a chance for me to voice an opinion. Agony. Agony, thank you. Thank you for the follow. Really do appreciate that. But anyway, the hot take of the week gives me a chance to voice an opinion. It's not always right. Sometimes it's very, very wrong, but it's something that I'm somewhat impassioned about. And other times, like you'll find out today, it can be something that's completely wrong, and I just need to stop. But we do it anyway. It is the Kendo Slice Hot Take of the Week. And today, what I'd like to talk about is the hot mess that took place on Saturday night. That's right. Dodgers versus Elite, and quite possibly one of the most that was a meme fest, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I gotta say about that. No, I have more to say, of course, but you can surmise what happened in that game as it was an absolute meme fest. Of course, all the founders of the MLD, though, are known for a certain type of meme. And if you do not know what I'm talking about, ask Cathexis. what his most notable play in his history playing for the MLD was. And of course, I mean, Jay would be the first one to link it. In fact, I might even give him permission to link it. What can I say? I might just give him the permission to link. Booyah. Yeah, Jay has permission to link the most amazing moment in Cathexis' career. Too lazy to go find the link. Of course. Well, anyway. But the one meme that almost all the founders of the MLD have in common is every single one of them has a tendency to find their nose on a ball that goes in to their own net. And so you have the two founders together in the Founders Derby. The last thing that you wouldn't expect would be a complete lack of own goal from one half-shelled hero, or said the Gaming Bear, aka Trash Panda version 2.0. And don't misunderstand me. It was a fun game, interesting to watch. It was very fun to call. However, it was lacking that one element that makes a half-shelled hero versus Gaming Bear matchup so much fun. And that was a half-shelled hero or Gaming Bear own goal. So I give myself I give them a tip of the hat, if you know what I mean. A tip of the hat, but a wag of the finger. Being that they weren't able to provide that, but lo and behold, our savior came in the form of one Ace G Face, who provided us with the clip of that night, scoring what might have been the best call of my casting career in minor league doubles, with the most beautiful own goal. And it's another thing that has been clipped. I'm like Jay, I'm too lazy to find the link. Anyway, that was the Kendo Slice hot take of the week. It was a hot mess, as though you can't tell. But anyway, we are going to invite our first guest in here in just a moment.
Ever feel like it's totally overwhelming to learn guitar online? If you're anything like me, you're on 5 or 10 guitar email lists and you watch whatever YouTube videos pop up. And it's all really great stuff. But half the time, one guy suggests one thing, somebody else suggests something totally different, and pretty soon your to-learn list is about 1,000 items long.
Aha! I forgot to turn off pop-up blocker, apparently. Anyway, that just happened. Let's see what else we can mess up today. This is a stellar start to our everyone's favorite MLD Monday. Okay, we hear the game music. That's good. But yes, I'm going to invite our first guest in really quickly. We'll put it over here. Hey. Get everybody's favorite thing going. We have the invite sent out to him. The question is, will he come in? But my first guest tonight is a member of the Champions League Dodgers. He was a player and captain of the Dodgers from Season 5, was retained over into Season 6 by the Captain Agony. The Dodgers are currently 21-19, one game behind the Bulls, and right in the wild card race in the Orange Conference. I have with me Crawdville. Crawdville, are you there?
I am here. Thank you for having me.
It's wonderful to have you, my friend. I really do appreciate your time. Anyway, as I was saying, you guys are 21-19 right now. Is a pretty good start for the team, and then really you've kept it going here through the halfway point of the season, being 2 games over 500, and currently in a wild card spot. I mean, you look at the makeup of the team. You got 2 guys who know each other extremely well, the former Stage 1 duo of Agony and Minamaki. And then, of course, I believe you have Call Me Craig, correct? That's your fourth
We
person?
actually have Das Taku.
Ah, that's right.
Bowls.
You guys had picked up Dastaku. Oh, my. Terrible research by me today. Anyway. That's right, and you guys played him last week.
Yes, he made his Dodger debut last week with Agony.
And it was really,
and they got
really good. It was really, really good. It was a stellar showing by the Dodgers last week, and I had the opportunity to watch that one. But
yeah, it was quite interesting.
But I gotta ask, what is the team chemistry like? Because do you feel at all like a third/fourth wheel on a dynamic duo of a team in Agony and Minamaki, or?
Yes, I do. Because I'll tell you why. Okay, they've been playing with each other so long that they know what they're gonna do all the time, and they have their own system.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to fit into that system is not as easy as you'd think it'd be. But luckily, we have some nice coaching from both of them to help us integrate into that system and hopefully find ourselves in a very nice position later down the season.
Yeah. So the plan for you has been to try to integrate yourself into the system, or have they been more adapting to your play style?
It is integrating me into their system.
That's pretty cool.
I have no bad feelings about it whatsoever. It's a very, it can be very beneficial to play that style. I don't want to go exactly into what it is because if it's working so far, I don't want to give it away. But
that's perfectly fine. Agony's here in the chat. He said, "Be very careful, Crod." So we by no means want to give away the secrets of the Dodgers by any means. I am a neutral party, not a spy.
But yes, it is a single system that works well when you know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And that's pretty much all I'll have to say about that.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, when you look at the results, like what you had in week 7, you went absolute legend in week 7. It seems like the system, you're adapting pretty darn well to it. You guys 4-1'd that week, and you had an MVPR of 5 with 11 goals, 3 assists, and 11 saves. That's a score line that really, it's a travesty you didn't make MVP. You were only, I think, 0.2 MVPR short. But you were one of the top performers of that week.
It felt good to actually finally have what I would consider a good week. I've had some poor showings early in the season, but hopefully we can keep that from happening again, and we'll get more results like the ones from last week and the week before.
Well, yeah, poor showings. I know you mentioned that, and I know you had a 5-0 against the Pandas just the week prior. That was quite the bounce back and turnaround for you guys.
Yeah, that game was pretty brutal. But, you got to learn from those kind of games. And it gives you a nice refresher, that you've still got a lot of work to do. And that's what you can look forward to doing to other people.
Mm-hmm. Another fun fact about you is I know you just went Master Race. You are on the PC now. How has it felt to change from PlayStation to PC?
The difference, I can't even describe it. It's so massive. Everything is faster, it's smoother, it feels so much better. I can't say, Master Race, anything like that, but I still got ties to my PlayStation 4, so it's Rocket League is a lot better on PC, but I mean, I can't talk down about the console players because
Yeah.
they can do a lot of stuff that I still can't do.
Absolutely. I mean, I I use the term master race in jest, of course, because I mean, technically the game was a platformer to begin with. So if not for the platformers, where else would we go? Also, PS4 is still the largest player base.
I am surprised by that.
But anyway. But yeah, do you think the switch over to PC made a difference in your gameplay?
I would say yes. Not in the way that you would think. You would personally when I switched, I think, okay, yeah, I'll be able to do some more mechanical plays and stuff like that. But just being able to play with the guys that are on your team and actually play anytime you want without having to worry about private matches is a huge benefit there. So you get the learning experience from, the guys who have been on here longer and, can teach you stuff, and you can play with them anytime you want, which is great. And you get that other benefit of, it's smoother and faster, so you can do stuff better, I guess. You have more improvement.
One of the things that I mentioned leading up to bringing you in was you do have an overcomer story, and not everyone in the league knows your story. So just an interesting fact. You are, if I remember correctly, wheelchair bound, correct?
That is correct.
And if I remember right, you play with, I believe, one hand and a thumb.
That is also correct. I have full use of my left hand, but I can only use my right thumb. So I'm only able to push one button on the right side of the controller at any given time. I usually use X or square, and sometimes circle, but only one of those at one time. So the way I play, actually, it's pretty interesting. I have a scuff controller, so I have one extra button on the left side underneath as a paddle, and that allows me to actually, play at a decent level, because if I didn't have that extra button, I wouldn't be able to jump properly, and I'd be flailing around like a fish.
Oh yeah, I can definitely understand that. So a scuff controller. Now if I remember right, scuff controllers, they are literally custom-made controllers, paddles on the back. They normally come with multiple paddles, or?
Well, okay, so the model that I have was from a few years ago, so there's one paddle on the left side, one paddle on the right side. Nowadays, you can get paddles with two on each side, but, they cost a lot of money, so I just stick with the controller I have, and I use it for one paddle. Some people might say it's a crazy investment to spend that much, but when you want a game and you need extra buttons, you do what you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely, and I don't blame you there. I mean, how much of... I want to put this correctly. How much of a disadvantage do you feel it puts you at?
Personally, I think if I had use of my hand, I could probably be... I don't want to sound cocky, but maybe Champ 3 area. There's a lot of stuff that I cannot do. I cannot slow down properly to dribble, so it makes, dribbling plays harder. I can't air roll the way I would like to, just because of button limitations, and I think I'd be a lot more consistent, because, you don't have to worry about missing a button here and there. But I'd say the biggest thing is probably being able to drift. I cannot drift and boost at the same time with the setup that I have. Ooh. And it seems like it's not that big of a deal, but drifting is important in this game, and it's hard.
Yes, very, very important for a lot of advanced mechanics. Absolutely. So that's the interesting fact, but what exactly happened that got you there?
All right, this is an interesting story, because there was one morning. All right, I'll just say the full details. It was Christmas morning, and we're opening presents, and out of nowhere, my back started to really, really hurt, like the most excruciating pain I've ever felt. And, it was persistent for probably about 10, 15 minutes. And then I decided, well, let's try laying down. And so I laid down, and out of nowhere, I then lost feeling in one of my arms. And it was at that point that my dad was like, "No, we're gonna go to a hospital right now." And to save a little bit of time, within about 45 minutes, I had lost all motor function and was on a respirator in a hospital, where I then spent almost 3 months recovering. And I now only have use of my left arm, my right arm a little bit, and I can move a couple toes here and there. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened. And as a spinal cord swelling, what they said, my immune system attacked itself, which caused my spinal cord to swell, which caused all of that stuff to happen. And here we are today, many years later.
That might be... I don't mean to say this jokingly. That might be the worst Christmas present I have ever heard.
It was hard for when the first Christmas came around. Because, it's like, how can you celebrate something when something terrible happened? However, I have thought about this a lot, and I truly think if it was any other day, and there was actually traffic on the road, I might not actually be here. So, in a way, it's kind of a Christmas miracle and a gift, but it is what it is.
That I mean, I gotta commend you for looking at it that way. That's an extremely positive outlook on what somebody could be really negative about. And wow, the fact that it was that day of all days. Oh my goodness. So
yeah, it's a. Go ahead.
I'm just fathoming what I just heard, because that's absolutely Rolo in the chat says absolutely unreal. I mean, that perfectly describes what it is. I know I had pre-screened a couple of my questions with you, but the fact that this happened on Christmas, of all days, might be the most insane thing I have ever heard. Wow.
Yeah,
so
it's just one of those freak things that happens, and
so
once it's over, you can't. I'll be honest, I dwelled on it when it happened, the time afterwards. But there comes a point when you just have to accept, what happens, what's happened has happened, and you just gotta look forward and make the best out of the situations that you got. Otherwise, you're gonna be miserable.
Absolutely, that's an amazing word right there. Wow. I'm a little bit worked up about everything. That's absolutely insane. So I know you said it was quite a few years. How many years ago was that? Do you mind I ask?
Okay, that was just over 17 years ago.
17 years. Now, the doctors, when this happened, did they ever give you like a percentage chance of like this was your percentage of even living, or like is there a number right there? Because that's catastrophic, and the fact that you're 17 years later going strong is absolutely insane.
No, the thing about it was, by the time we got to the hospital, the damage was done. What's done is done.
Yeah.
They kept me alive, and they helped me recover, but it's not like a survival thing. It's just, well, I mean, it was because I couldn't breathe on my own, but other than that, once I'm stabilized, it's just, this is you from now on.
Yeah. So
Not sure what else to put on top of that.
So 17 years later, like I said, though, you're still going strong, and I know MLD, you got in, I believe, in Season 4, around the same time I did. Is that correct?
I would agree with that.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, you were on the Pirates, and...
Yes. Yes,
You got...
I was drafted by the Pirates in Season 4, and that was that was a long wait to get drafted. I think I went like 27th, and when I finally got drafted, it was an amazing feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, the Pirates, they had a little bit of a rough season in Season 4, but...
Yeah, Ayers ranked out really quickly in the first couple weeks, and then I was the captain, and then I had to step down because I had a respiratory illness, and I didn't want to hold my team back because I didn't know how long it was going to take to recover from that. And there was just a constant season of roster swaps for the Pirates back in Season 4, but, you know, they're moving on from that. And
yeah, yes, obviously. I mean, I know their roster this season looks extremely stacked, and they're very, very fun to watch, especially when you get that top pairing of Junior and Tunlink. Although
that's a scary combo.
Junior and Cheyenne are very, very fun to watch as well, with the family connection right there. But you know,
yeah, I tell you, man, they're a team to look out for in the playoffs. That's going to be a scary team, to play.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys did a number on them, though, if I remember correctly. I'm gonna pull up the standings really quick, but I know you hurt them quite a bit.
Well, I got to thank my teammates for that. I don't know if I'd have been able to do the same thing.
I mean, they're still in the lead in their division, but you got the Knights and the Rhinos within 3 games. That just goes to show you how much of a good start they started out with. I know once they get into the playoffs, they're going to be a beast to handle, but there's still a chance that they might not make the playoffs with the insanity at the top of that division. Or with really the insanity in the Orange Conference in general.
I was about to say, though, the wild card spots are absolutely insane.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that wild card race. Actually, I might look into it just a little bit more. Just an impromptu question, really quick. I know we just got done talking about the Pirates a little bit. That's a really good squad within your Orange Conference that you guys are going to be playing, or that you've played, you've had an experience with, and if they fall, they're going to be almost a lock for the wild card. What other teams would you say are really of note that that you guys as the Dodgers are looking forward to playing?
I don't have the schedule in front of me at the moment. Let me see if I can't pull this up. I am unprepared for this question. I am sorry.
No, it's okay. I mean, it doesn't even have to be a team that's coming up. It could be a team that you already played that you could possibly end up seeing in the playoffs.
Whew. Well, if I'm being honest, I don't think I would play in the playoffs, but it would be fun to see Agony and Maggie take on the Demolition again in the playoffs, because I'd like to see them get some revenge. I know they'll get it later this season, but if the Demo end up making the playoffs, I would love to see them lose.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, in the Blue Conference, I would actually really like a shot at those Ducks. Yeah.
I do not blame you. I know we've I know last season there was a lot of scrims as well that we went through together. Not only just scrims but casuals together in in the scrimmage channel that was created. I do want to talk about just the insane improvement that you've gone through, though. Like, as far as being a player, to overcome what you've overcome, to maintain a champion level of play, I definitely don't think you're being cocky when you say that if you had full use, you could be champ 3 or greater. Because being a champ level player, yeah, that's insane. And what you guys did week 7 was absolutely insane. I really enjoyed not only watching that, but casting that.
It was fun playing, and later that night I went back and watched the VOD. And just to listen to the way that you cast it, it's so entertaining when you're calling these games every single time. You always make it very entertaining and interesting, and I'd like to thank you for that.
I do appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, the one other thing that I definitely do want to talk about, you've overcome so much to get where you are in Rocket League. What else are you doing outside of Rocket League?
Outside of Rocket League, I am a full-time college student, currently studying business administration, and I'm going to pursue something in that when I finally graduate.
Pursue something in that when you finally graduate. Is there any specific focus that you're looking at?
I'm thinking finance, because one of my relatives recently graduated in that field. And when I was talking to him about what he does, it sounded quite interesting, so I think I'll go with a finance focus.
Yeah. That's absolutely insane. I guess I'm not dad, but how are grades? No.
They're good. They're good. They could be a little bit better, but they get the job done.
That is absolutely awesome. Any other hobbies that you like to play or do otherwise?
I really enjoy hanging out with my family. I got some awesome nieces and nephews, and you can't have a bad time around them. They're amazing, and I love them. And all my family. That's pretty much, if I'm not, at school or playing games, I'm doing something with my family. It's the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of focus on the family, a lot of really just what your growth in Rocket League really has impressed me, because I know we've played each other since season 4, and yeah, like I can't overstate. I imagine I went over it quite a bit in my cast on a week and a half ago now, but it's just like it's so amazing to watch how far that you've come personally. I mean, seeing you grow from, if I remember right, when you came in, you were, I think, Plat 1, Gold 3.
It's funny, I actually came in as Challenger Elite Rising Star area back when.
Oh yeah, that is correct.
So it's been a while. There hasn't been. I don't want to Okay, so personally, I think there's only so much improvement that I'm going to see with what I'm capable of.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes me a little bit longer to develop some of those plays and abilities, but I do the best I can, and hopefully I'll keep on growing up the ranks, and maybe hit the a title sometime in the next year or so. I'd love to get a title in the game.
That'd be amazing. If anyone in the audience has a question for Crodville, I know we've fielded a few questions before for other guests. Would you be open to answering a couple questions from the crowd?
Sure, I don't have a problem with that, but I will say if they're a little bit personal or something like that, I may decline to answer.
That's perfectly fine. I know that's more than understandable. Let's see. Waiting for chat to catch up at the moment.
No problem.
What just happened on my screen? Anyway. There are times you're in a game and you're like, what in the world just happened? But
I feel like that anytime I'm in goal.
There we go. So, waiting for the chat to catch back up. Favorite Rocket League car, Asig Face has.
Oh, gotta go with the Skyline. I'm a sucker for Skylines, even though I use the Octane all the time. It's a beautiful car. And the engine noise and the wheels. Cannot go wrong with the Skyline.
Another question for myself. This is more my inner dialogue. Will I ever get Ace G Face correctly?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, when I first saw it, I was like, how do I say this? And then luckily we got the name change in the Discord channel, so I was like, that makes a lot more sense, and it's easier to say that way.
Cardinal in the chat. How much do you love Cardinal? Wait, too personal?
Cardinal is awesome. I've spoken to him a couple of times. We've had some very nice conversations, and he is a very pleasant individual to spend any amount of time with, talking about whatever. You guys just when you're in a chat with Cardinal, you don't have to talk about anything in particular. The conversation just goes, and I'm sure that you will experience that in a little while.
Absolutely. Of course, Cardinal is the second guest on the MLD Monday stream. And yeah, he's probably one of my favorite people to talk to. Just if you're just having basic conversation, he's one of my favorites. And then he and I have enough in common that I'm hoping that the conversation that we have is extremely enlightening for the viewers today.
It's always a pleasure when you talk to Cardinal.
Let's see. I'm not seeing any more questions at the moment. So we'll see. I've got 46 seconds left on a game. We'll see if anyone comes up with a question before that. I know you had a lot of Dodger support in the chat early on this, on our MLD Monday stream. Agni came out, Minamaki was here.
Awesome. I unfortunately don't have the stream open just because I don't want to be distracted. I'm sure don't take that personally.
No.
Now I feel bad for saying that.
No, it is not. It's not something I would take personally at all. I completely understand. The fact is, I'm insane for trying to do things this way. Agony in the chat. No support. All hate.
Oh my god.
So
I wouldn't expect anything else out of Ags.
This will be a little more of a personal question, and I will end on this note. What's it like playing with Agony?
Oh, we don't have enough time to talk about that.
I will make the time. This is gonna be good. Let me get my popcorn out.
It is very interesting. You learn a lot, just not in the way you expect to learn, but you're still happy you're learning. I think that's about the easiest way to put it. I'm scared to see what he's typing in the chat.
He hasn't typed anything yet, but
he has
I'm
a demeanor about him that no other person can match. But it is fun. It is fun.
Agony, cut. Well played. Yeah, light roasting of agony here tonight. Anyway,
It's the only time I'm gonna get to roast him. He
I
gets to
know.
roast me all the time.
You know, if that's the worst thing anyone has to say about someone, then by all means, they're pretty good off. But yeah.
I love you, eggs.
Yeah, Agony, wonderful guy. I do appreciate. Really, I appreciate the entire Stage 1 crowd because they do a lot for the community, especially Minamaki, the teaching, Agony. I mean, if it weren't for Agony casting, I don't think we'd have an MLD the way that we have an MLD. And of course, if it weren't for Agony casting, we wouldn't have Inanimate J, who is, of course, Inanimate J. Nothing else needs to be said about him. Anyway, Crodville, I really do appreciate your time, my man. And that was to say it was enlightening is an understatement because your story is one that, again, I said not too many people know. Those who didn't know, I'm sure that they are encouraged by how much you've overcome, and it's amazing. It's really me knowing some of the facts, some of the things that you have overcome. It makes me have a lot more joy. It allows me to have a lot more joy watching you. I mean, the excitement that I have casting you is genuine excitement, especially when you go legend like that, like you did in week 7. So, sir, I really do appreciate your time and your willingness, your openness with us tonight.
It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Anytime. Maybe we'll have you back again when the Dodgers are potentially in the playoffs. We can do a little commentary on...
Oh, we're going to go farther than the playoffs. You'll have plenty of time for that. We're going to win the whole dang thing.
Now, is this a promise or a guarantee?
It is a guarantee if we get to the playoffs.
So you're always right 0 to 100% of the time?
Something like that.
Anyway, Crodville, I really do appreciate you. I am going to go to a break. Just a real quick, maybe, I would say a 1.5-minute break, and then we are going to bring in the Mr. Cardinal, and we'll get right in to his interview. But yeah, Crodville, again, I really appreciate you. You have a wonderful night, sir.
You too, man. Have a good one.
So anyway, guys in chat, please do not go away. We will be right back. Enjoy about a minute's worth of music, maybe 2 minutes. We gotta make things happen fast. I did it again. And we are back, everybody. Oh, maybe I'll get it right eventually. Hashtag sad. Anyway, our next guest, I am bringing in right now. Our next guest here on the stream is going to be a 3-time captain of the Pandas for 3 straight seasons. He led the Pandas in Season 5 to a Tropic Division Championship. He was the Players' Player of Season 5. He is the dad of the MLD. The one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Cardinal 22. Cardinal, are you there, bud?
I'm here.
Good to have you today, sir. It has been way too long since we've actually even talked, just voice to voice. So it is great to hear your voice.
Yeah, I think the last time we talked, it was during a casting session, and that wasn't a whole lot of time to just sit and chit chat. It was get down to business and find some information quick, if I remember.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to invite you to party because another thing we haven't done in forever is actually just play the game together.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to find the right toppers and stuff. I'm not picking my usual Cinchio tonight, so I'm trying to find some fun things to play with tonight.
You know what? Just for you, I am going to go Bone Shaker.
Okay.
I know, right?
No, I'm sticking with Roadhog. I never see anybody play with Roadhog anymore. I feel like he's unloved. So
actually, I'll just be my old classic Merc. Who am I kidding? Anyway, what would it be with that? Rolling up in casuals, a Roadhog and a Merc together. This is going to be absolutely golden. But Cardinal, how have you been, my man?
I've been good, man. I've been, the usual. A lot of work, a lot of I don't know, a lot of stuff, a lot of things going on. But it's usually the weekends when things slow down just enough for you to sit back and go, wow, how did that week go by so fast?
Now, I know a little bit about what is going on in your life, but just to preface it, without saying what all you are doing, about how many hours between all you're doing do you put in?
Into what? I mean, Rocket League? Or...
No, I mean, I know you struggle to have time for Rocket League, but right. There's a reason for that. About how many hours of work / studying do you think you do?
Oh.
Just put a round number on it.
Well, I say between work and studying. Let's see, I work I guess 50 hours a week, so there's that, and then every so often I work a Saturday, so 55 hours a week, and then studying usually takes me between 6 and 7 hours out of the week. So it's a good chunk out. I mean, if you divide that down to how much time you actually have throughout the week, it's doesn't leave a whole lot. And not just that, but I'm a family man again. I wasn't when I first started the Rocket League. I was separated from my wife, and we have found a way back together again. God bless. So
that is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, after like a lot of years too. So
now, how recently did this happen?
Oh, that was this past September. So just before season 6.
Oh my goodness, dude! Congratulations.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I wow. I'm so happy for you.
At the same time, then you got to throw family into that. As far as how much time you actually spend playing Rocket League. And fortunately, I have an amazing wife. That's why I've always kept after her, I suppose. But,
yeah.
It is tough to get some practice time in for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I had no idea though. Right off the bat though, how's Hyper doing? I know I haven't seen her around in a little while.
She's actually been fighting a lot of the illnesses that have been going around. She's been down and out, not quite herself for probably about a week and a half. Other than that, she's been playing a lot of other games. She hasn't been playing Rocket League so much as of late, and so I'm still kind of holding out a little bit that we might be the father-daughter team that joins the MLD, but we'll see. When she gets a little bit older, I think we'll look at doing that.
Absolutely. And so, I do have to question, just before I throw us into a casual match, the proportionate size of our vehicles at the moment. Would you say we have a little bit of dad bod going on going into this casual meeting?
Mine could use a little bit more of a gut, but yeah, sure. It's a little bit of a dad bod going on. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say anything, but I might be overcompensating for something here.
Overcompensating for something. That's wonderful. Well played. So I'm gonna load up a casual just to get us started. For those of you who don't know, guys, of course, Cardinal does work full time, but this about I'd say about 6 months ago, a little longer, you decided to go back to college.
Yes.
Now,
yeah, it was actually about it was the same night that I built this PC, because if anyone's not sure, I actually was a PlayStation player for the longest time, and I'm going to tell you right now, I am horrible trying to talk and play at the same time.
That is perfectly fine.
We'll see what happens. And to be fair, I'm pretty horrible anyway. But yeah, so I was PlayStation for a long time. And I built this PC. It was mainly because I was tired of hearing about how great PC was, especially when it came to Rocket League, but on everything else. So let me see if I can get this here real quick.
Nice.
Yeah. So I got I wanted to build a PC. I didn't just want to buy a Dell or an HP. I actually wanted to buy a PC. Or build a PC, and build it from scratch. Hey, how's it going?
Oh, wait a minute.
Nice block.
My bad.
Good defense. And so I did, and I was thrilled when it booted up and everything was running beautifully, and I was blown away about it. I was like, holy crap! I just built a PC. That's, component by component anyway.
Yeah.
And I think later that night, after that shock had worn off, no!
Good job.
Sorry. I know that sounds terrible on interview, but anyway, so I had this idea to start checking out colleges. I had so much fun building a PC. I was like, I used to enjoy actually programming and doing software stuff, so what if I got out of the crappy job I'm in now, was 50 hours a week and grinds my bones to the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
And actually found something that, maybe gets me out of that. So that was it. That was the beginning of it. I found a place and started learning this stuff online. And stuff.
Guys, Cardinal's carrying me right now.
Yeah, that's pretty sad to say. You must be more distracted than I am.
Oh my goodness. It's literally, you have almost 400 points on me.
Well, let's not get carried away now. I'm sure I'll screw it up somewhere.
I'm starting to doubt it. But anyway, so you've gone back to college. What were you going to college for again?
IT, bachelor's in IT.
Master's in IT.
Nope, bachelor.
Oh, bachelor.
Yeah.
I thought you said master's there for a second. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, there's only but so much money I'm willing to spend on this one. But yeah, that's the idea. Just get out of the job that I'm in now, which is like I said, it's a blue collar job. It's a job that I was willing to accept, 20 years ago, but now I can't see myself doing it 20 years from now. And I didn't see my company advancing me fast enough, so I was like, I got to get out of this. I got to do something on my own and stop waiting for my company to be all like, yeah, he's awesome and smart. Let's move him.
But yeah, so you are still working at the same job and doing college at the same time, though, right?
Yes.
How many credit hours are you trying to do weekly?
Honestly, I don't know. I know that I'm taking 1 to 2 classes every 5 weeks, and it changes there. I mean, it's like I said, it takes about maybe 6 to 7 hours of my time on one class, so probably more like 10 to 13 hours for 2 classes when I'm doing that. I'm just at 1 class now, so.
You got that all the way.
Oh, stupid goalpost. Seriously, who invented those things?
Who even put that there?
Right?
It's literally a Merc and a Roadhog, and the Roadhog's carrying the Merc right now.
Oh, Hyper just walked in. She's getting ready to say goodnight. Hey, Hyper, come on over. Huh? What? Say hi to Kendo's fans.
Hi, Kendo's fans.
There you go.
Hyper, how are you doing tonight?
Kendo has fans?
What? Yeah, he's got tons of fans, so you just said hi to him. So.
They're mainly in my computer to keep it cool. Arctic.ac, by the way. ! Sellout.
See? You were the reason for a plug. So. Hey, you going to sleep? Love you. Oh, there's a game going on, sorry. Wait, how did they not score that? Last I saw, it was like a... Okay, never mind. Anyhow, so I'm back.
No problem. Jay in chat, you can't shill for our sponsors on your stream.
Oh, brutal. Seriously. They're not your sponsors, Kendo.
They aren't my sponsors, but, they could be.
I'll sponsor you. You can totally, plug me if you want. Oh, that did not sound right. You know what? Just let's go on. What's the next topic that you were talking about?
Well, let's talk about what you just said. Never mind. Mercy.
Yeah, you might have youngins, so.
Yeah, there might be youngins in the chat. People like Inanimate J. Never mind.
Oh gosh.
Well, you gotta remember,
Yeah.
compared to you, Inanimate J is fairly young.
Well, compared to me, I think the entire league is young.
I know, right? The elder statesman, of course. If I remember correctly, you are 41 now, correct?
Just 40.
Just
I
40.
turned 41 in August. Yes.
Okay, August. Go figure.
Yeah.
I put it on there way too soon. Sorry. But anyway.
Yeah, and actually, and I don't think a lot of people know this because the teammate that I picked up, the teammate that I had, this past draft, I had about 8 people lined up. I played with them and I had everything figured out, but I was so low in the draft order. By the time, nice shot, by the way.
Thank you.
By the time I got around to drafting somebody, everybody had been picked, and they got picked pretty early. It was like the first pick of the second round.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I started scrambling. That's when I was just reaching out to anybody, trying to get the quickest. Hey, who are you? Are you pretty cool? Can you maybe learn Rocket League if you're not good? Stuff like that. It was just stupid little questions. But let me see if I can get this. Nope, I sure can't. I think I actually made that worse. And I ended up with Prometheus because. I don't know. Sounded good. He, well, there was a few people, and some of them were like, I don't know. MLD sounds like pretty cool and stuff, but I'm not that into it. And I was like, okay, you're not in then. Mm-hmm. So, ended up with Prometheus, and then I come to find out Prometheus has a daughter that's a couple of years younger than Hyper, and he's 41. So,
that is awesome.
Yeah, we
that is absolutely awesome.
Got a couple of. I what is it called? Silverbacks in the league?
Yeah. So the Silver Pandas, with the exception, of course,
of Palm Wonderful.
Palm Wonderful. And I've seen pictures. Palm, that guy, woo. Let's just say he gets the numbers.
Well, go for it, by the way.
Okay.
I think that's one of the things though that I was really surprised by that because I was so used to being, you know, everybody else saying they're old and they're, you know, missing the ball like I am. No, you know, they're saying they're old and they're, you know, 36 and I'm like, gosh, what I wouldn't kill to be 36 again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pretty sad when you get older in age. It's you only go back a few years, not like a whole decade. But I hold on. See, this is the part where I'm like, you know, struggling to play and talk at the same time. But
It's okay.
uh,
You already carried me once. That's all you need to carry me tonight.
ooh, that's probably on. Or not. We'll take that. So, sure. That'll be in a few minutes. Okay. Yeah, so I was kind of getting used to the fact that I was the oldest one here, and then Prometheus jumps in, and you know, like I said, he's got a daughter, and we actually the day after we drafted, I think it was, let's see, nope, nothing happening there. Him and his daughter and me and my daughter played, and it was a great family time, but
That is awesome.
yeah,
That is
it was
absolutely
unexpected.
awesome.
I really didn't expect that. You know, and this is a league that's full of a lot of younger players, and that's kind of what I expected. You know, at least you know somebody that's younger than me. So getting Prometheus on was it was different. It was I honestly I wasn't sure how to strategize my team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I felt like I could what's the word I'm looking for? Guide younger players.
Yeah.
But ooh, I just set that up.
Yes,
Awesome.
you did. It was beautiful, though.
Yes.
I mean,
But that could have done better. But with Prometheus, suddenly I was like, well, this is an older person. This is a person who's my age who doesn't need, you know, guidance in life or, you know, how to handle themselves in the you know, minor league world or professional league world, and I kind of I wasn't sure how to handle him at first, you know.
oh, boy.
I'm not entirely sure that I know how to handle him now, as far as you know, out of respect for the fact that he's not just some kid.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll look at the stats really quick.
Okay.
So far, you guys haven't had a very good year. Well, not
No.
year, but season. 12 and 28. I didn't actually double check your pairings to see which pairings you had left, but you can't win the division, and
No. We can't get 500.
yeah, you have to. You're 7 games out of the wild card. You pretty much have to win out the rest of the way to have a chance at a wild card, and
Well-
get a little bit of help.
I'm not even so sure that the wild card is what we're aiming for at this point, and not that we're gonna give up the fight. It's just that what we're trying to do is go down in flames. You know, literal flames of like we did that good. You know, of not being the team that nice pass by the way, not being the team that was getting skunked by everybody in the Sky Division and the Tropic Division.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of what we're trying to do, and I know there's gonna be a total dead giveaway to anybody that's ever gonna face me as a captain, but I typically stack my players to have the best. First of all, my best combinations going against my own division,
Mm-hmm.
and then second of all. Sorry, I didn't know if you were there or not, so I'll just, you know, do this.
Gonna dribble on him.
Yeah, I tried.
Dribble on horse face.
I'm definitely not. That did not sound good, dude. Seriously, this is like somewhat kids show.
That's literally his name. Then you have the Farn Skagler, the Yarn Skagler. I can't even.
I'm pretty sure that's Swedish.
It's
Fjan Skagler.
It's Nordic enough. I don't even know what to do. But yeah.
Anyhow, so our mission is I don't know. I really feel like the MLD promotes not giving up ever, and I feel strongly about how I lead the Pandas Plant League team to not do that, to not ever give up. I didn't give up even when I was my first season and couldn't hardly hit the ball. Oh, screw you, Farms Kragla.
Kids show language. No, I'm joking.
No, I meant with like a screwdriver.
Oh yeah. I completely understand that.
Right. See, now you're getting it.
Ooh.
So,
I almost have to go with that. That moment you get a random topper and you're like, ooh, I need to add this.
I got a crate. I'll figure out what's in it later.
But yeah. So we understand you're busy. We understand that the Pandas, they're not giving up despite the fact that things are a little bit bleak at the moment.
Right.
I know this is probably the way too soon question, but it gets asked every season around this time.
Okay.
And it's the R word.
I did not sit up right for that. Jay would be ripping. Actually, he probably is ripping me right now. What, are you talking about retirement? Honestly,
no. I was talking about. I need a food that starts with R. Never mind.
Oh, Reaper peppers.
Oh yeah, Reaper peppers. No,
Yeah, I'm down to try.
We'll go with the retirement question. I know it's been 3 full seasons.
Right.
And are you looking to make it a 4th? Or I know you've pursued casting for Ace at one point. Were you looking at maybe pulling the Kendo Slice?
Honestly, I first off, I actually have that question for you. Ooh. That would be my question for you. I know that. Screw you, horse face, with the screwdriver. But that would be my my question for you. Is I know that you had faced some, I guess, physical challenges. Mm-hmm. Especially in the season 4 that I started in. What made you retire?
That was definitely part of it. The other part of it was you look at what the Ducks did. The reason for a lot of how the Ducks played was we put in ridiculous amounts of time together.
Right.
When I wasn't playing with Mateo or Atomic, I was doing free play. And really, Season 4, I'll never be able to do Season 4 again as far as time-wise. But I also have that hyper-competitive drive to where it's like, I don't want to do something unless I'm going to give it my all and I have a chance of being the best at it. You know what I mean?
Yes. So, did you feel like you were getting to a point where you were not able to give the best toward it?
Oh my. Oh yes, precisely. I mean,
okay.
I wanted to make it one more season with Season 5, and the heart issue clearing itself up half decently. I won't go into too much detail about that. I still have the issue, but it was a lot less prominent after the month or so that I was doing rehabilitation for it.
So, because I know it's not just a matter of time, because now you're picking up a new show and thinking about, continuing the show or even modifying it for future use. So for you, it's not just about show. I mean, or about time. It's about. It sounds to me like it really did become a physical strain at some point. Because I mean, as much as we like to call ourselves silverbacks, we're not that old.
Yes.
To be like, I thinking about, like you said, retirement.
I feel like you're trying to talk me back into the league.
Yeah, and if you could be a panda, that'd be sweet.
But yes. Well, I think on that note, though, I would like to share a little known fact that very few people know.
Okay.
Just about the council. I know Season 5, it ended up going poorly towards the end for the Lightning due to a couple of mishaps, etc. And you guys, the Pandas, you guys played absolutely out of your minds. And you had you had a man by the name of Rai, who used to go by the name Bahada Beast, aka Much Beast.
Right.
Who, I mean, you look at the man, you look at him now, it's like
it's a trip. And I mean, that guy was like some weird, like, it was like a gremlin, you didn't feed him overnight, and so suddenly he becomes like this monstrous beast. It was strange, but at the same time, it wasn't surprising to me. That's kind of why I picked him. In fact, one of the prerequisites before I picked him up was, I was like, are you sure you're not going to rank out by week 7? Because I felt like he was one of the most underrated players, and I'm not the only one that did. I mean, there was a lot of people looking at him. I just happened to have a very low draft pick for that one.
Well, yeah, you had quite possibly the best off-season trade in the history of off-season trades.
Yeah, I was pretty proud of that one, and I don't mean to say that in the sense that it wasn't sad to see Great God Goose. Zeus go. Great God Goose. That's awesome.
Great God Goose.
Great God Goose.
Somebody clip that and send that to Zeus.
It wasn't sad to see. I mean, it was sad to see him go. It really was. And at the same time, though,
oh my. There we go.
I think there was a bit of understanding between the two of us of the fact that him and our play styles just didn't work. I think he's better off where he's at now, with a team that possibly is a little bit more aggressive of a play style than I am. I tend to need a real aggressive player.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, screw you, Goose Face Horse McGee. I tend to need a more aggressive player to play with me. I'm not. Prometheus actually taught me this season to be more aggressive. I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
And I really have a tough time with the what's the word I'm looking for? Whether you should be aggressive or whether you should trust your teammate. And when you got teammates that have a tendency to want to take control of the ball and continue to take control of it, it's tough for me to turn around and say, I need to get in there also, And it has come down to a point where a few times the teammates would lose control of the ball, or they suddenly, now it's a pass and not a shot on goal. And they're like, where are you? And I'm like, I don't, I mean, that's not really what happened the last 20 times. So, but a big part of that though, and the big part of that comes down to me and my ability to lead a team. So I'm not trying to put it on them, but I can definitely say I'm learning a lot as far as leading a team. So when it comes to retirement, I'm not there yet. I just feel like I got way too much more to learn. I feel like I'm getting better as a Rocket League player in the little bit of practice that I'm getting. I feel like I'm getting better as a team leader as far as teaching them the ability to use team skills and not individual skills. Yeah, and I feel like I can always rely on my optimism and my ability to see what people are doing good to encourage them. And that's one of the things that I love about playing with in a league that's full of young players. They might have a ton of full skill and ability, but have they played a real match? Have they been streamed before? Can they calm their nerves down? Can they not freak out on their own teammates? This is the kind of stuff that, like, I may not be good at playing Rocket League so much, but I can kind of guide them in the right direction as they move forward in their career. And so yeah, I'm not done with Rocket League. I'm not done with the MLD.
Yeah.
I'm ready to keep doing that as long as my thumbs aren't broken.
I absolutely enjoy that perspective. But yeah, we've rabbit trailed so many questions. I can't even catch up with them all. That's the fun part. So just to really quickly tie off a loose end on what you were talking about, it's like it got to the point where, and I'll tie the trade that almost happened down as well. That would have been absolutely insane, involving Beast in Season 5. But as Season 5 ended, the whole NCP and everything, that deflated me quite a bit. And it was just... wanted to essentially move on, but not move on, because the time commitment wasn't going to be there anymore for me. As far as, like, putting 20, 30 hours in. And then there had to be something productive out of it. So I repurposed my Rocket League time to see if I could pursue casting.
Okay.
And at that point, you know, having Mateo own Ace, it was the perfect playground for me. And a lot of people...
especially when he took it over, yeah.
A lot of people enjoyed, I think, the voice more than anything else, because I had very little casting talent at that point.
Well, I don't. I disagree with that. I not that you don't have a good voice for casting. That was one of the things that stunned me about it, was that there's a couple things about it. I think the viewers are gripped by your energy in it, because you really have this good knack for realizing when to get excited and when to just kind of back off a little bit. And you would get excited, and everybody else would get excited with you, including me as a caster. And I'd be like, yeah, yay! And oh, right, got a cast. But it was that and that kind of leads into the second part that I was getting at, which is yeah, that was a good fake, huh? The fact that you do really good with other casters. You lead them well. You conversate with them. You don't just leave them hanging, you know. And that really, I think, kind of is what one of the biggest reasons why you're where you're at now, casting MLD. People don't just love hearing your voice; they love listening to Kendo.
I appreciate that. But yeah, basically, as the idea of casting at a higher level became an idea that was like, hey, this might actually be possible. It was something I ended up presenting to my wife as, you know, this is a possibility, and we can maybe do something with this, you know. So can I try this out? I'll try to put a little bit of a schedule together, organize it, etc., etc., and we've just added to it from there because of the successes. But, you know, basically the success is built on itself, and now I'm to the point where I'm putting about... the fakes are everywhere.
And it worked.
I know, right? But, it got
I'd love to say I faked it. I was actually trying to chip it, but whatever. Let's go with the fake.
it got to the point where it's just like the successes were building upon themselves, and now I'm to the point where it's like 10 to 15 hours put in to developing this show,
Right.
casting with the MLD usually 2 to 3 days a week, and that's usually about a 2 to 3 hour commitment.
Well, and that's the thing. That's why I knew that leaving a team anyhow had nothing to do with time.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it doesn't push time. It's just that I know that you and I are the type of people that will find time. You know, we're gonna make this work. When I was casting for Ace, I enjoyed that, and I really wanted to keep working on that. But with college, family, and work, I had to make priorities. I had to cut something out, and casting right now took less of a priority than being in the MLD and being a player and continuing what I'm doing here. So I'd like to do that again someday. Just like you said, it's going to be at a time when I retire, and I just can't see myself doing that yet until the league kicks me out and says, you know what, we're going to set up a time limit as to how long you can be in the league. Until they do that, though, screw you. That was actually me. I was screwing myself with the screwdriver there on that one.
I gave him
He's
a
not even
save.
moving. How do you block that?
I know, right? I literally put it right on him. Anyway. But yeah. No, it was just to tie up the other loose ends in that conversation. There was after it was towards the end of season 5 where Rye ended up leaving after week 10.
Uh-huh.
And you guys were looking for a person. And
Yeah.
really it started out with Rye, because Rye and I had been in conversations for a little while on a lot of different levels. Like, you're right, a lot of people noticed Rye's talents. He was one of the first people. It's like, yeah, this is the guy. He started.
I had third draft that season. I was actually surprised he made it that far.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he was that good. There was that much potential there.
right.
And let's see. And there was a deal in place. I know we mentioned your trade in between season number 4 and 5, where you traded
Right.
Great God Zeus to the Sharks for that pick that you picked up Rye with. So you had 2 first-round picks. It was like the 3rd and the 8th, correct?
Yeah, it was pretty early on, and if you actually consider how many people were planning on, I think, keeping their players, it was a lot less than that. I think it actually turned out to be like 2 and 5. If you like I said, consider the folks that were actually intending to keep their first round picks. So
yeah. But you had that,
right,
and then you almost pulled off. Wait a minute, you carried me again.
I mean, let's just not dwell on the specifics here.
Nobody clipped this. What in the world?
Here, I'll click the next game with you so we can just move on from this. They don't even see it.
But anyway, you just doubled up points and you had 1,400 points. That's
Well,
awesome.
I'm starting to think I should play Roadhog a little more often, huh?
Yeah, exactly. But the fact that we clipped. Everybody's clipped it already. Crap.
I'm
It's
pretty
all
sure that's
over.
your fault.
Yeah,
I think the moment you say nobody clipped this, it's done.
I know. If they missed it, they're already back in the VOD trying to clip it. I'm gonna have like 7 clips of that exact moment. Oh my. But yeah, no, there was a deal in place, and it got all the way to a final vote in the council that would have sent me to the Pandas to finish off the playoff run in exchange for draft picks.
I remember that. Yeah. I remember that. I was really looking for, because when it came to, now, first off, Bondo's the first friend I had. He's actually the one that drug me into here, and we found each other just randomly online, and he had heard about this thing. He says, check it out. You're not an a-hole, so,
Yeah.
you might actually work in this league, and that's actually how we found each other. Was we played solo randomly online, and he wasn't an a-hole to me, and I wasn't an a-hole to him, I guess. So we kept playing. We actually, he was probably the first, no lie, online friend I ever had of anything.
Interesting.
Besides some weird chat rooms, which we just won't get into that. So that was why this whole thing of me getting into the MLD is so random. Like, I wasn't into online stuff. I wasn't even really into competitive Rocket League until Bondo dragged me in, and he went by Bond at the time, just so everyone knows. So other than that, I mean, I made some friends fairly quickly, I suppose, but you were easily one of the first friends I made in this league.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you took me. I don't know if you remember, but you gave me and Hyper a little bit of a positioning.
I do remember that. Furphy was in on that too.
Yes, that's right. I was trying to remember who the second player was. It was Furphy.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a point to that, but yeah, you were one of the first people I had come to know in this in this league and even as a friend on line experience. So good job for being my friend.
Good job for being my friend. Thank you for being my friend.
There you go. See,
You got a friend in me. I feel like what is life? I just ate a whole piece of.
But that's going back to what you were trying to talk about.
Yes.
That was the reason why I was like, as far as people who have taken me under their wing.
Yeah.
Which I'm sorry if that insults you, because I'm not that good still. But as far as people who have taken me under their wing, that's kind of why I was like, dude, I would love to be on the same team with this guy, even if it's not about me playing with him. It just be on the same team with him.
Even if it was a rental.
Yeah. Well, I think you would have made a valiant Panda for sure.
I definitely would have tried, because I had an agenda. I had some ducks I really wanted to meet.
I know, and that was the really difficult part for me dealing with Rye's departure. Was I really honestly thought that we had a team that could actually take the Tucks down, or at least give them a run for their money.
I 100% agree with you.
And I was really looking forward to that. And that's the thing too, is I wasn't really a part of that. I was kind of the weak link on that team, but I felt good for being the guy that picked those guys.
There is a reason that Rye was one of the first people from the league that I was like, let's make this guy a Scarlet Wing.
Yeah,
if you can't beat them, join them, or make them join.
That's it, and that doesn't surprise me. And honestly, Palm Wonderful, I mean, he doesn't get a ton of practice, I suppose, as he should. If he put his art into it, he's already gotten better at his aerials. He is so much fun to play with and so much fun to watch. His dribbles are freaking insane, and he does it with a keyboard and mouse. I don't get it.
Palm's keyboard mouse too? Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And it's really I don't know. It's a lot of fun to watch him, because he just jukes people left and right. I'm glad I got him, and I don't know if anyone remembers this from the draft of season 5, but you know, Jay asked me, why did you pick Beast and Palm Wonderful? I flat out said it's because I don't want to play them. I don't want to play against them. Those are the two people out of this entire league that I just would rather they were on my team and rather than me face them. And it's worked out so far. Although it would have worked out better had Rye stuck around.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Oh man, but yeah.
But
do we have any dad jokes? I know I'd asked if we could create a dad joke off.
yeah, I'm more spur of the moment kind of guy when it comes to dad jokes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, something's got to like present itself. I haven't felt any yet.
So you're more the guy who feels the dad jokes.
Yes. You kind of have to become one with the dad jokes.
One,
you know?
with the dad jokes.
Right.
Be in
It's
oneness.
really a technical process, you know. One that's you can't really explain. You kind of have to have somebody there that's maybe
a father
protege.
figure.
Yes, if you will.
Oh my. Yeah, I get the feeling the dad joke off's not happening. Because
Well,
I feel
like
like
I said-
I feel like I'm the exact same way. A lot of my comedy is based off of other people and what they're saying. If you have a dad joke in the chat, please just type it in. We might be able to dad joke off of your dad joke and just make a completely terrible meme.
Oh, Kendo carrying me.
Hey, I have to get you back. I still have...
Somebody's gonna have to clip this because
No,
I got carried by Kendo.
just stop.
That's right.
You got me.
But
Well, what else you got for me, Kendo? What do you?
to be honest, that is mostly what I had. I really wanted to cover the fact that you are doing so much to improve your own life, one, and then two, just the amount of time that you put in. It's fun to hear the perspective of somebody who is your age, especially in a league full of kids. You know, for lack of better terms. No offense to the younger folks of the league, but that's essentially what we are. We are the elder statesmen in a league of, you know, kids.
Well, and yeah, we are. I don't know. I don't like, for one, I don't like using excuses. I actually I was thinking about the broadcast that you and Ryder were using the other night. I think it was a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I was like, you know, oh yeah, he's got all this time, he doesn't practice, and that's true, but I don't like using excuses. I'm still in this thing to win. I'm not trying to be all cutesy and be all, you know, I don't have time to practice, so therefore I can't win this thing, and these guys, they've got all the time in the world. I don't like excuses. I don't like excuses when people are saying they've ranked out and they should be gone from the league. It's like, well, then beat them or rank out yourself. You know, I think when it comes to the MLD, this is a perfect chance for us to have a great time and a fun time to learn this game. And when you start coming up with excuses, you start taking this a little too seriously, in my opinion. So that'd be my thing to anyone else. I get the competitive nature, I get the need to win, but at the same time, there's a lot of people here and a lot of people with different skills, and it's worth trying to take all of that in rather than, you know, try to say that somebody's outranked you or that your teammates, not that any of my teammates have. I don't want to go down that road, but you know, to blame your teammates for your lack of a decent record.
Asig in the chat completely agrees with you. It's like, argue less about who's better than you and improve. It's like,
Yeah. It's what we're here for. There's a reason we're called minor leagues.
yeah. And really,
And
that's what I've always said is so amazing about the league. You have a chance to develop, and one of the reasons I respect you more than I would respect most of the captains is because you are all about coming alongside people that you bring in. You're loyal to the people you bring in.
I am.
You know, you treat them really just as an extension of your family. You know,
well,
mentality.
And I do. And it really that probably would be the biggest thing that could be criticized. I suppose is the fact that once you're a panda, I'm not kicking you off this team. I'm gonna work with you. We'll try and get things better, but I'm not gonna be kicking you off the team just because. Oh, that was a hell of a shot. But just because you're not progressing fast enough or anything. I mean, if somebody's not progressing that fast enough, it's probably this guy. You know what I mean? So,
well, thank
I'm
you.
here to help.
I'm joking. I'm joking with you.
Yeah, really, your casting should do a lot better at this point. But anyway, no, I once I make someone a panda, even if it was on the fly at the moment, like I did with Prometheus, he's it. He's a panda, as far as I'm concerned. As long as he wants to be a panda and wants to continue to learn, I'm gonna be there for him as best I can.
That's awesome.
So I don't know. That's my take of what the MLD really is about, anyhow. And so I'm gonna do my part to make sure the pandas do the same. The Plat League pandas,
That is the best. Yeah, that's one of those things that I really respect you for, and it's the captain's mentality that not that many captains have. So
well, it's thank you. I'll go with that. Thank you.
Yeah, take your medicine. No. But yeah, I don't want to keep you too long because we are quite a bit ways over what I normally intend. I keep on trying to get my times down, but I get the feeling I'm just gonna have to change format because the conversations that I end up having are just too much fun to try to limit the time on.
Well, and I think that's the thing, and you're right. That's a tough thing. I always marvel at some of the major league sports that try to do the kind of shows that you're putting on, and then try and turn around and say you only get this much time to talk when you're having a good time. But I think you got a great show here, Kendo. I'm thrilled to be on it. I would love to see you continue this, and any other players out there who want to take the initiative to make our league better. This league, I'm assuming, I can only assume that all of this started with Half-Shelled Hero. And if all of us can make it that much better, I'm all for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate that. I guess, do you have any questions for me, or anyone in the chat have any questions for Cardinal before we head off?
Or anyone in the chat have any questions for Kendo? Don't let him get off the hook.
What are you talking about?
It's always about you and your guests.
Well, it is always about the guest, 100%. I have too much of an ego to make it about me.
I will concede to that. It is definitely about me right now. Well, I'm sure I probably could have. Okay, so they're going for the Brazil, I think, in this one, but I tried to come up with some. I really, that was my biggest thing, was just wondering if you'd still be playing right now if it weren't for the
Oh, you're phasing out on me. I'm not sure if it's you or if it's me. Cardinal, are you there? I think, ladies and gentlemen, we lost Cardinal. Let's see. I'm not sure what happened.
So it's just me now.
Okay, here we go. It might have just been the server. I'm not sure what happened. I switched you over to a different voice channel, and now all of a sudden we're better. But
okay.
So I missed most of that. I apologize.
Well, I guess the only question I had, and I already asked it earlier, so it's not like you have to rehash it. That was my question: is if it wasn't for some of the physical challenges that you were going through in your world, would you still be playing, or would you be casting? Is that more the route that you were trying to go in, or not trying to go in, but the route that you decided to go in now?
Well, here's the fun thing. Like, I'll get into a little bit of what I do, just to answer the question. Of course, I also work about 50 hours a week doing metal work. I'm basically a laser operations. It's a title that I gave myself, essentially, laser operations manager. I
love it. That's a great title to have, by the way.
But I essentially run the entire laser department of a metal shop.
Okay.
So I'm fabbing, cutting metal, different sizes, doing my own inventory, organizing the parts after they're cut, sending them to their next place to go within the shop. So, I do all that on a weekly basis. I'm also somewhat involved in my church to the point that I'm essentially the assistant to the youth pastor at the moment.
Okay.
And that usually takes up a good chunk of my time as well. So, like, I'm usually about 15 hours into that a week. Just...
Gotcha. Okay.
Hanging out.
You've got enough time in there.
Yeah.
As well.
Exactly.
So it wasn't time issue. I mean, but that's what I was getting at. Is it's not that it was time issues. It was never time issues. It was, I mean, I know for a couple of those seasons, it was there were certain physical things that were popping up.
It was both the physical things and the quality of time.
Okay.
Like, because where I am currently, I'm kind of stuck in between Plat League and Champ League. I have the potential to be high Champ League player if I actually was able to put in the quality of time that I would need to put, to be there. Because mechanically, I'm okay. Mechanically, I could do better, but, it is what it is. Whereas strategically, I think I could be of a huge benefit. But it's the mechanics that I need to work on more than anything else. You're going to carry me in this one, by the way.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
But the mechanics, improving the mechanics from where I'm at just requires continual practice, higher quality of practice, and I don't have the set schedule time for improving my gameplay.
I get you on that, and that's kind of where I figure I'm probably going to be Plat League at least another season.
Yeah.
But like I said, as long as I got something to offer the Plat League, and new rookies or anybody. Nice shot, by the way.
Thank you.
I don't know. I can't. And like I said, until the league forces me out, I can't find a reason to stop being captain of the Plat League Pandas.
Yeah. And to be honest, the casting has become really rewarding for me because I'm improving myself quite a bit, and I would say I have a fair shot of doing something with it.
And
beyond
I would agree, and that's kind of where I was at with casting. I'm not saying that I could. Oh, that was an awful flick. really should have seen that coming. But that's where my thing with casting came from. Is I didn't feel like I was bad. I really struggled to be good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could probably do all right for some of the lower levels, but as far as MLD casting,
Yeah.
I think those guys right now, anyway, and the time that I've got to put in for practice, I don't have any, so I had to back out. So I'll get back to it someday, but right now, my captaincy takes too much precedence.
Absolutely. I mean, the fun part about this interview is I think we've established you are the captain of the Pandas for the next 5 seasons.
Well, I'd be okay with that as long as I can continue to find time to do it, productive time, and the kind of time that actually is worthwhile. If I find out that I've become nothing but a joke, that's when I'll step down. But right now, I don't think I'm a joke. I mean, other than on the field, I meant more like as far as leadership goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. I don't see too many more questions in the chat. I guess we got 1:30 left. Anything in closing?
Well, I'd like to know your future plans for this show. I would love to hear what where you would love to take the show and what you want to do with it in the long run.
Well, this show right now, we are essentially in the feeling out process. I'm really, and we talked about this just a little bit. I'm in my mentality is I want to do this solo right now just so I can feel it out. I don't have to worry about adhering to anyone else's schedule, for one.
Right.
And then...
But, I mean, are you looking at, like, having awesome intros and, you know what I mean? Like...
Well, yeah.
Having segments in the show and all that. You already have a segment to start with, so are you trying to add more segments? I mean, hey, how's it going?
There is a possibility, yes. To be honest.
I love it.
I mean, there is a large amount of production value I wouldn't mind adding, but for now, it's just having something that is there that kind of fills the void of Behind the Goal.
Right.
Because
right.
I mean, those of us
big
who...
void to fill. I mean, that was a lot of production time going into that, and I know that Jay would probably cringe at saying that. He's like, "Oh, my co-casters were never there," and all this, but it was fun. Even if he had to solo cast, it was. I don't know. It's just kind of really cool. I mean, especially when you get to hear your team, even if he's ripping up on your team, like there is no way in heck these guys are gonna make it to the playoffs. This guy is too new. This guy's too, defensive or whatever. It was still really cool, and that's one of those things that I think in the MLD is missing at this moment, other than your show, is the feeling that even if you stink at this game, you have some serious broadcasting behind you.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, the MLD is absolutely amazing for that production value. It gives us, those of us who are improving our game, a platform to improve it on. And, I mean, that can't be understated how huge that is when you can be someone, Plat 1, playing in a league that actually cares enough about its people in a non-toxic environment to do that sort of production, put you in that sort of production, give you a chance to develop yourself, and granted, like Behind the Goal, if they roasted you, the fact is they're roasting you to help you get better.
Yeah, and I hope every young player, or new player, I should say, understands that. Mm-hmm. I was roasted a great deal in 4 and 5, and you take that as okay. It sounds harsh, but they're giving you nuggets. They're giving you clues as to how to get better.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you focus on that, guess what? You'll get better. What this league is about.
But yeah, and you know, that was one of the things that I really appreciated about Behind the Goal was the fact that it was cool that, you know, if you get Player of the Week or Play of the Week, you can see yourself on there. Or hey, they just said my name live on Twitch. It's just like, whoa,
Right. Well,
but at the same time, while that was a novelty, I found that the greatest gift given was the fact that Jay put all of his analysis prowess into analyzing what needed to be done, and he laid out things that you needed to improve on in order to actually get better. So it was almost like a coaching session, all the while being a production broadcast that was second to none.
of course. But what I like about what you're doing, and this is why I continue, or I hope that other players will continue to kind of pick up what you're doing and carry with it. Jay only had, but so much time to deal with it. Learning the players, making it personal, making it intimate. It's not just about like, oh, this guy saved this many goals.
Yeah.
How about we learn about who he is? That's what I love about this show, and that's why I want to see this continue. And I fully encourage you to keep up with it.
And the fact is, I do plan on 100% finishing off the season. And the same format, essentially. I'll probably do one hot take and one or two interviews, depending upon the amount of people that are in said interviews. Like last week, we had the we had the League Talk podcast guys on, and that was literally interviewing 4 people at once, and it was it was mental. They got their own segment and their own show altogether. You know, Rolo was a show that the topic was so amazing that it needed its own show. And then Rolo, he's the type of guy, you talk to him, and it's a lot like the conversation that we're having right now. He's extremely open about what he does, and he does so much for his community, despite the fact that, you know, he had gone through something that very few people get to make it through. You know, and that's
Right.
That's absolutely insane. And I definitely encourage people who haven't watched the Rolo video, make sure you go check out YouTube. I've been posting all the videos, linking all the videos there. I'll try to post a link in the Discord or a link in the chat. That way you can see some of the videos. But the Rolo episode is one that, it was amazing. And Crodville was another episode that I really wanted to spend a lot of time on, but at the same time, I also understand that there are people who are a little more private about their experiences in life. And Crodville is Crodville is someone. He's an amazing person, and at the same time, he definitely wants to keep his privacy as well. You know.
Well, and not only that, and that's actually where. Crodville's another one of those friends that I would fall back on. He's been through a lot, and that's the fact that he opened up on your show really, it's phenomenal. I mean, it means a lot because he's one of those guys. He does not want to be seen as that guy. He wants to be seen as how he plays on the field and how he responds to you in chat and who he is, not what disabilities or challenges he's had to overcome to get there. Mm-hmm. So the fact that he opened up with that's really awesome. That's where your show comes into play and can bring more of that out from other players.
But yeah, I do plan on continuing with the same format, especially into the playoffs. I plan on getting more playoff teams, more playoff players, and the storylines write themselves, which is the fun part.
Yes.
So like my lines of questioning, really it's more a game of organizing what I'm going to ask and putting it in the right spot. That way I can continue to develop ideas and thoughts on top of each other. That way you're building a really nice interview.
Yeah, right.
But, it's been a blessing so far, and we're 6 episodes in, and I definitely don't plan on stopping. It'd be interesting to see going into next season, like if I want to keep the format at 2 hours, like I've been doing, I don't mind that idea. I just
Right.
want to make sure that I organize it better, keep a little bit stricter times, and then add a little production value to the segments. It'd be amazing if I had a little literally a little score bar, under here that you just literally scrolled and showed all the scores from the week.
Okay, I just went back to the internet. Underwear?
Oh,
I saw it. I'm actually
Yeah,
delayed,
yeah.
so I actually saw it.
Yeah. Anyway, but it'd be cool if an ESPN style scroll bar.
Right.
We could do the scores, cover that, cover little stats. Like
Well-
like Crodville have his 11 goals, 3 assists, 11 saves. Granted,
It's gonna be you that does it though. It's gonna be not just you, but people like you.
Yeah.
It's gonna be people that step up to make this happen. Jay, I mean, he's carried this whole production value on his back up until now. Not
Absolutely.
that he hasn't had help, right? But
I to be
he can only
honest,
do so much.
to be honest, he hasn't had that much help. And
Well, I know,
don't-
but he's had some co-casters. That's what I was trying to get at.
I getting to know Jay a little bit more, talking to him, and really, I can't understate at the appreciation that I have for the amount of time that not only he but Curtis have invested in me, just
Yeah.
in these last 8 weeks, because they didn't have to bring a person who is green behind the ears in as an additional caster.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But
But-
they decided to, and it's like they're going through growing pains with me. And I'm slowly learning when to meme, when not to meme. Which is a terrible thought for me because I'm always there to meme. Dad jokes are real. Anyway.
Yeah, and speaking of which, you want good dad jokes.
Oh,
You go
no.
to Curtis. Curtis.
Yes.
I mean, dude, that guy is. Now that's a natural.
Jay is actually in the chat. He said, "Stop pumping my tires." I love it. I didn't even realize you were still here, Jay. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to puff up your ego. Anyway.
Yeah, he doesn't have one anyway. That's a solid dude. Shoot, I'm sorry. I about started that again. Okay, so
Solid dude.
I'll go ahead and back off now.
Yeah.
I owe my daughter Hyper a tuck in and
Yes, absolutely. The kids first, by all means.
Yep.
I definitely need to let you go. Chances are, if she's anything like my daughter, she's already asleep. But at the same
She-
time, precious
what
moments.
mad.
But yeah, that's I apologize that I got in the way of that. I know I appreciate you, man. I really thank you for coming on the show. I know that we could talk for literally hours, so let's make sure to have another conversation, only not on the MLD Monday. We can do it on a regular stream one of these days.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all for that. I love chatting with you, and we'll make that happen.
Absolutely. So that was Cardinal, the captain of the Pandas for a very long time now, and most likely a very long time to come. Wow. I'd like to thank everybody who is still in the chat, all the viewers for tonight. The follows. I know we had DaHusky. I'm not ignoring you, man. I appreciate you. Welcome to the Kendo Slice channel. What we did today was called MLD Monday. I'm a caster for minor league doubles, and we go inside the lines of MLD. So, but to all the followers, to all the new followers,